have come. We have come to give you glory. We have come to give you praise. We have come to give you glory. We have come to give you praise. Oh yeah. We have come. We have come to give you glory. We have come to give you praise. We have come to give you glory. We have come to give you praise. You're welcome in this place. 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 You're welcome here. You're welcome in this place. You're welcome in this place. You're welcome in this place. Come have your way. Have your way. Have your way. Have your way. You have your way. Lord, have your way. Have your way. Have your way. You're welcome. You're welcome in this place. 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 Come have your way. Have your way. Have your way. Lord, have your way. Have your way. Lord, have your way. Have your way. Lord, have your way. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. We shout out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. We shout it out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. We shout out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. We shout it out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. We shout out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. We shout out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. We shout out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. We shout it out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. Have your way, Lord, have your way. 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 Have your way. Lord, have your way. You're welcome in this place. 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 Praise is rising, our praise is rising to you, my King. Our praise is rising, our praise is rising to you, my King. Our praise is rising, praise is rising to you, my King.
We lift you high.
Our praise is rising, praise is rising to you, my King. Your praise is rising, praise is rising to you, my King. Your praise is rising, our praise is rising to you, my King. praises fill this place. So let your praises fill this temple. So let your praises fill this temple. So let your praises fill this temple. Be lifted higher. Yeah. So let your praises fill this temple. Let your praises fill this temple. Let your praises fill this temple. Be lifted higher. So let your glory fill this temple. So let your glory fill this temple. So let your glory fill this temple. Be lifted higher. Be lifted up. Be lifted higher. Be lifted up. Be lifted higher. Sing it again. Be lifted up. Yeah. Be lifted higher. Be lifted up. Be lifted higher. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. Shout out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all that's within me shout out. One more time. We shout it out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and let all
that's within me shout out. Shout out. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Let all that's within me shout out.
So we were talking and praying about what we felt like the Lord was calling us to this week, and there were two things that came up. The first is rest. I know a lot of us are carrying a lot of weight in the summer, and a lot of us just finished being involved in training camps and stuff like that, and it's a heavy lift. And I got this image of, so we went on the man hike, and you're carrying a pack, you're walking up a hill, you know, and there's like these beautiful times up there where you get to stop and just like take off your pack and like look out and just stop and enjoy and like look at the creation, look what God's made. And it's like, you know, you let your back sweat dry a little bit. And it's just like this beautiful thing of like, you feel the breeze, it's this really enjoyable rest. And then you put your pack on, you keep going. And this morning I want to encourage you to kind of like take off the pack and like be able to just rest and take a look back at where we've been. And take a look back at what God has done. And that's what the second thing is, just looking back and like sharing testimony of what God's been doing. And I want to clarify, like, not just what we've been doing, but what God's been doing. And there's such strength that comes to the body. And I want to encourage you this morning. I know sometimes we have testimony time and there's people who are standing there. It's like, well, is what I have significant enough? And like, I don't really want to take the mic. I don't want to make this about me. It's actually not about you. We want to hear what God's doing in your life, and like I know that other people in the room can be encouraged through that. So we'll just kind of flow in and out of, in between every song, we're just going to have some space where music will be playing. You can come grab the microphone and just share, like, what's God been doing? What can you encourage the body with? What's the stuff that you're seeing that maybe other people don't get to see, but they'd be encouraged by? And I'll kick us off. So during worship at training camp last week, Jeremy ended up coming up on stage, and we kind of did this thing where it was helping people experience the Father's love. And it was like the Father Heart Hug, and he encouraged us as staff and trainers to come up and just, if people felt like they needed a hug, whatever, they could come to us. And Jeremy told us, like, hey, if you're on staff, just give them a hug, pray, Lord, let my arms be your arms, my words be your words, and then pray whatever you hear the Father saying. And that time was so powerful. Like, that might have been the most powerful half hour of training camp, at least that I experienced. And it was amazing to see the freedom that came, and to see, like, the Father is so looking to pour out his love. And honestly, like, he's looking for us to be the ones who are the conduits that, like, help other people experience that. And for me to, like, have that half hour or however long it was, I don't know how long it was, something like that. Like, it was amazing. And I was so humbled by the fact that God really does use me to help other people experience his love, and then how loved I felt in the process of doing that. And so that was just amazing for everybody who was here. I'm sure, like, you could feel that in the room, but, like, God is, he is doing it. He's pouring out his love. He's calling us to take part in that. He's calling us to be his people who share that with others. So if you have something you want to share this morning, like in between songs, like I said, just come, grab the microphone. You don't need to ask if what you're saying is okay. Like, we want to hear it. Other people need to be encouraged by hearing what God's doing in our lives. Like, God's working in us as a body, not just individuals, and it's so encouraging to be able to hear it. So I'm going to pray, and then we'll move forward. Father, I thank you so much for the amazing things you are doing. God, I thank you that you've called us together as a body. I thank you that when we come together, we see more of you than we see on our own. And I pray that this morning we would be able to rest in your presence and enjoy hearing about the ways that you're working and the things that you're doing. God, for just a few moments this morning, we want to lift our eyes up to you and off of the stuff that's right in front of us and all the stuff we have to do. God, I pray that you would magically erase the to-do lists from our mind and the inbox and all this stuff we're thinking about that has to happen this week. God, I pray that we would be able to put that on hold, take off our backpacks, and just rest in your presence and enjoy you for a while, Lord. And I pray that we'd be able to go and continue in that same spirit as we leave here.
We're heaven's born creations, his pride and adoration, treasures woven by his love. His careful hands, they hold us safe within his promise of calling and of destiny. And I will sing of all you've done, and I'll remember how far you carried me from beginning that you weren't by my side. There wasn't a day that you let me fall. In all of my life, your love has been true. And with all of my life, I will worship you. There wasn't a day that you weren't by my side. There wasn't a day that you let me fall. And with all of my life, your love has been true. And with all of my life, I will worship you. I will worship you.
There won't be a day that you're not by my side. There won't be a day that you let me fall. In all of my life, your love will be true. And with all of my life, I will worship you. There won't be a day that you're not by my side. There won't be a day that you let me fall. In all of my life, your love will be true. And with all of my life, I will worship you. And I will worship you for all you've done. I will worship you.
I will worship you, forever, God. You're worthy, God. You're worthy, God. I don't need another reason to sing. You're worthy, God. You're worthy, God. You're worthy, God. And I don't need another reason to sing. You're worthy, God. Let's sing to him. You're worthy, God. You're worthy, God. You're worthy, God. And I don't need another reason to sing. 'Cause you're worthy, God. You're so worthy, God. You're so worthy, God. We don't need another reason to sing. And I will sing of all you've done. And I'll remember how far you carried me from beginning till the end.
You are faithful,
Faithful to the end.
It's on testing. I wanted to share a testimony of what God's doing in the past year with World Race Storytelling. So this month, World Race Storytelling is officially 1 year old. Yeah, it's exciting. It has been an incredible journey. So World Race Storytelling started because Seth had a vision of racers sharing more and more about what God's doing around the world. And so in the past year, we've seen blogging rates triple, which is crazy. And the biggest complaint I hear from coaches is that they don't have enough time to read all the stories. And I think that's a great problem to have. And so we have, if you're not super familiar with what we do, we have a story leader on each team. And I think they're freedom bringers because they help encourage their teammates to have freedom from comparison and perfectionism and to be bold about sharing their stories. And we've really seen the fruit of it. Gosh, God's doing so many things through it. I've seen story leaders become squad leaders and team leaders, and they have really found their voice. Maybe they didn't have a platform before, but they're really stepping up, and they're so anointed. I mean, the things that they're saying, they send me their notes after they talk at debrief, and it's like so full of anointing. But the stories that we're seeing are incredible. In Revelations, we hear that, or we find out that we defeat the enemy by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And we're seeing kingdom come so much through these blog posts. I mean, it's really incredible. I saw one racer whose brother is an atheist write on her blog about how he's seeing the Father's love through his sister on the race. Yeah, and we're seeing like miracles. People who are seeing miracles share that. And maybe they didn't share it before, but now they're sharing it. So God's been so faithful and just amazing in the past year with storytelling. And yeah, it's just really exciting. So thank you, everybody who's helped out with that. And yeah, I'm excited to see what year 2 brings.
When you walk into the room, everything changes. Darkness starts to tremble at the light that you bring. And when you walk into the room, every heart starts burning. And nothing matters more than just to sit here at your feet and worship you. We worship you. We love you, and we'll never stop. We can't live without you, Jesus. We love you. We can't get enough. All this is for you, Jesus. And when you walk into the room, sickness starts to vanish. Every hopeless situation ceases to exist. And when you walk into the room, the dead begin to rise, 'cause there is resurrection life in all you do. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. So come and consume, God. Oh, we are. We we give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Yeah. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. We want you. Yeah. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you. Come and consume, God, all we are. We give you permission. Our hearts are yours. We want you. We want you.
So something the Lord has been walking me through in this season is favor and what it means to receive favor from Him freely without any expectation. He just loves us and wants to bless us and wants to give us gifts because He's a good Father. And so my squad came off the field just a week, 2 weeks ago, and I came home right into a season of training camps and wedding planning and all of this craziness, and it's been really easy to feel lost in that and lost in the stress of it. But the Lord is just continually speaking this word, favor, favor. I want to give you favor. You don't have to do anything to earn it. It's just yours. And so in the midst of all of this wedding planning craziness, there have been so many times where I show up to a venue to look at it and I'm disappointed and immediately feel like I have failed or God has failed me. And He's like, no, just wait, like my favor's coming. And then I show up at the next venue and I love it and it's perfect and it's in our budget. And we were having dinner with some friends the other night and we had just been talking about budgets and I was really stressed and we were like, well, we can't afford a honeymoon, so I guess we're not going. And Austin jokingly said, like, oh, do you know any friends with a timeshare? And I was like, no. And we just kept talking. And I got in the car, and my dad had left me a voicemail on my phone, and he said, I have these anonymous friends with a timeshare, and they want to give you your honeymoon. And the Lord was like, it's a gift. It's favor. It's blessing. Like, learn to walk in it and learn to receive from me without feeling like you have to do anything. I just love you, and I want to celebrate with you. And with that, He has also been constantly encouraging me to pray favor and blessing over others. And so in situations where I'm like, oh, Lord, well, your favor would be great right now, He's like, okay, pray it over that person. Pray it over them. Pray it over the other people in line in front of you in this long line at the airport that you're trying to get through. Don't pray it over yourself. Pray it for them. Give it away. I'll give it to you. You give it to them. So I just want to pray a blessing of favor over all of you today. So, Father God, I just thank you for this place that we can come before you and we can just receive from you, God, and we can sit and rest in your presence and just take a moment to breathe, knowing that the journey is not done, but we can sit here with you, God. And so for every single person in this room, I just pray favor. I pray that they would be able to receive from you in whatever that area is that has been stressful, that's been a struggle, that's been causing anxiety, God. I just pray that you would pour out your blessings on them in that place and that they would recognize your favor and recognize the area where you provide. And so, God, I just pray that over each and every individual in this room, you know the situations, you know the hearts, God. And so I just speak that favor into existence in this place. In your name we pray. Amen.
Super scared to share this, but I feel like the Lord has been just beating it on me, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. The past few months have been rough on the home front. I haven't been really able to talk about this a lot. My parents are going through a divorce, and it's really been just weighing down on me, just being so far away and not having all the information and only having this he said, she said, and it hurts to see two people I love so much hurting each other. And for so long it was like, Lord, like, what can I do? Like, how can I fix this? Like, how can I make this better? And time and again he's telling me, this is not your battle, this is not your fight. Regardless of what your parents are going through, regardless of their relationship with each other, it has never hindered their ability to be a mother and father to you. And you are still my son, and you still have the ability to love them. You have the ability to show them grace. You have the ability to be a son to them, and this doesn't change that. And for the first time in my life, I believe the identity that the Lord has given me. I believe that I am a son walking in power and freedom from my circumstances around me. You know, when we believe that the power that is within us is greater than what comes against us, nothing can stop us. And so with that being said, don't look at me, I'm going to cry. I want to sing this chorus. My feet doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. Yeah.
When I'm standing in your love, my fear doesn't stand a chance. When I'm standing in your love, my fear how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight my battles. This is how I fight. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you.
Cause even when the rain falls, even when the flood starts rising, even when the storm comes, and I am washed by the water. Cause even when the rain falls, even when the flood starts rising, even when the storm comes, and I am washed by the water. Cause even when the rain falls, even when the flood starts rising, even when the storm comes, and I am washed by the water. Cause even when the rain falls, cause even when the flood starts rising, cause even when the storm comes, yeah. Cause I am washed by the water. Even when the rain falls, even when the flood starts rising, even when the storm comes, I am washed by the water. Even when the rain falls, even when the flood starts rising, even when the storm comes, I am washed by the water. Doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My shame doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My shame doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My shame doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My shame doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My shame doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love.
Even when the rain falls, even when the flood starts rising, even when the storm comes, I am washed by the water. Even when the rain falls, even when the flood starts rising, even when the storm comes, I am washed by the water.
If there's something you guys need to release today, something that's holding you back, something that's holding you down, I want you to take a moment to just release that, give it up. Give it to the Lord and hand it over. Because you don't need to hold on to it. Put it at the foot of the cross.
Spirit, speak through me. I just think that this word is
it's not just for me or the couple people I told. I don't know if anybody else felt uncomfortable when you came in and the lights were on. It's like, turn them off, please. Like, and the majority of people are standing in the dark place because it's more comfortable. And as much as we don't want to acknowledge it, sometimes we like to sit in the darkness. But the light's right there. It's scary. It's uncomfortable sometimes. But I think as you shared, and just if you have things that you're hiding from, like, come walk in the light. He loves you.
Set a fire down in my soul I can't contain, Lord, I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, Lord, I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul I can't contain, Lord, I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. We want more of you. We want more of you, Jesus. There's no place I would rather be. There's no place I would rather be. There's no place I would rather be than here in your love, here in your love. No place I would rather be. There's no place I would rather be, Lord. There's no place I would rather be than here in your love, here in your love. So set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, Lord, I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. Set a fire down in my soul I can't contain, Lord, I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. So set a fire down in my soul I can't contain, Lord, I can't control. I want more of you, God. I want more of you, God. We want more. We want more of you. no place I would rather be. There's no place I would rather be. There's no place I would rather be than in your love, here in your love. There's no place I would rather be. There's no place I would rather be, Lord. There's no place I would rather be than here in your love, here in your love. Right here, in your presence, in your presence, you're here with me. Right here with me. You've never left my side. Right here. You fight for me. You love me. Lord, you work with me.
We sang this song a lot at my training camp, like 3 years ago. And I was just in the process of grieving the loss of one of my best friends, and really was like, God, I don't trust you, and I don't think that you're good. And I don't know that I really believe that you are who you say that you are. And we were singing this song, and he said, Jackie, what if this right here was my love? Would you go there with me? What if this pain and this grief was where my love was? And so I said, okay, there's no place I would rather be. And in the process of some really painful things in the past couple of weeks, I've gone back to this song and said, okay, there's no place I would rather be. Even though I don't feel like it. This past week, the Lord gave me a vision of myself, and I was like balled up in the fetal position. And I was just like screaming in pain and just like, God, where are you? And he pulled the perspective out, and I was actually on a cross. And he said, Jackie, I can't nail you into my image until you open up your hands to me, and until you start letting go of the things that you're holding on to, of the things that you want to protect, of the things that you don't trust me with. Because if Jesus didn't feel the pain of the cross, then it wouldn't have meant anything. And the reason why the resurrection was so huge was because he knew what it took to get there. And so death is not supposed to be fun and pretty. It's supposed to hurt. But the resurrection reminds us what it took to get there. And I don't know who needs that this morning. It's still something that I'm very much walking in. It is super hard to open your hands when you know what's coming is a nail being pounded into you. It's super hard, and it's super vulnerable because you know what's coming, and you just have to choose to trust that he's still good and that he's still going to roll the stone away. So, yeah.
by all means.
Okay, cool. I have been in southern Indiana for the past 2.5 months after getting back from squad leading, and I did not want to be there at all when I started. And the Lord just started speaking to me through the things that were like right outside my bedroom window. And if you've ever been to southern Indiana, which you probably haven't, because unless you came to my house, because there's nothing there but corn. So outside my bedroom window is a field. Just when I got there in March, there was nothing there. It was just like barren. Stuff was left over from like last season, and they weren't really doing anything. It was still kind of cold. And there was just like not really anything happening. And I started to see how that was like how I felt as well. Like that's what the Lord was doing in my life. Like stuff was kind of left over from all this stuff that had like just happened or had happened in the last season, and it just kind of felt like nothing was gonna come back, or that there was like, that it was kind of like hopeless and like not really like there wasn't anything new being produced, and so I realized like that's how I kind of felt in my own life as well. That it was like that I kind of wanted to like go back to like last season whenever there was full stuff there, because I could see like the leftovers of that. And then in the next week or so after I got there, they started spreading manure on the fields. So that's always pleasant if you've had that experience. But they started spreading that, and then I'm like, oh, this is no longer applicable to my life. This metaphor is done, so it's time to leave. But then I realized that wasn't. I felt like there was probably a lot of crap in my own, being spread in my own head as far as lies, as far as like even wanting to go back to the season before and things like that. So it did become applicable to kind of what I was walking through in that season as well, in that, I guess, week. And then the next week or so that I was there, they started like plowing it up. They came and like started digging all this stuff up from before and like, just like plowing and like bringing the new dirt to the top and putting that old stuff underneath, and like kind of like with the like fertilizer and stuff like that to kind of like mix it up and like bring something new to the top. And then they started planting new things, and I started really seeing how the Lord was like doing that in my life as well. As far as like when they started digging that stuff up, because I had so much like time and space to do that, the Lord was like digging stuff up in my own heart and my own life as well. And so I got to see that, and then they started planting new things, and I started kind of like dreaming and thinking about what the next season is going to hold, and a lot of things like that. And so it just continued to kind of speak to my life and where I was at. And then, after they planted, I mean, it rained a lot. And then when I left, it's probably been a month since they planted, and the corn that they planted in that field outside my bedroom window is probably like up to my waist. And so it's like this flourishing thing that looks amazing, and the ground is just like really saturated, and things can go really easily. And that's kind of again like how I felt in my own life as well, as like this new these new things are being like planted in my life, not just like location or things like that, but actually like the Lord like planting new dreams and just like new things as far as, I don't know, like joy and things like that in my life. And so that was really cool to see. But then also on the drive down here, I was thinking about that and the metaphor, and I think that the biggest thing the Lord can speak to us through that is that growing new things is always a process. There always has to be a time whenever like a season ends and there's not really anything there, and there's kind of leftover things, and there always has to be a time whenever it gets plowed up, and there always has to be a time whenever they plant something new, and then whenever it gets watered and nurtured and taken care of before it can grow. And then there is that time of flourishing, but it really doesn't last that long. it's like constantly growing until the time whenever it's actually like the thing and like ready to go is not very long before you have to harvest it and start over again. And so the Lord was teaching me a lot about the process that things take as far as planting new things, but then also in being where you're supposed to be so that He can tell you what He needs to tell you. Because He probably could have taught me that anywhere, but the fact that I every day had to wake up and see like a visual representation of what He's teaching me really like makes it a new thing. So there's also purpose in being exactly where you are in the moment for the Lord to speak to you. And so that's kind of like what the Lord's been growing in me, and I kind of feel right now like in my heart kind of like the corn is like flourishing. And so I just want to share that with you as far as what the Lord has been doing in me and in the power of the process and being exactly where you're supposed to be for the Lord to speak to you.
Spirit of Jesus, living inside us, never to fail or forsake, unending promise, heaven inside us, whispers the sound of your name, and holy, holy is the Lord, worthy to be praised, Yahweh. Filled with your wonder, here I surrender, held in your mystery of grace, calling me closer, waking desire, coming alive in your name, and holy, holy is the Lord, worthy to be praised, the fire rising in my soul, all consuming flame, Yahweh. We sing holy. And holy, holy is the Lord, worthy to be praised, Yahweh. You're the fire rising in my soul, all consuming the one who lives in us, the great I am. Yahweh, He who was and is to come, is the one who lives in us, the great I am. Yahweh, He who was and is to come, is the one who lives in us, the great I am. Yahweh, one more time. He who was and is to come is the one who lives in us, the great I am. Yahweh, holy, holy is the Lord, worthy to be praised. Yahweh, you're the fire rising in my soul, oh consuming flame. Yahweh, we sing holy. And holy, holy is the Lord, worthy to be praised. Yahweh, you're the fire rising in my soul, oh consuming flame. The fire rising in my soul, all consuming flame. Yahweh. Sing holy one more time. Holy, holy is the Lord, worthy to be praised.
Lord, we thank you for who you are. We thank you for what you do. We thank you that you are with us, that was a promise. We don't have to ask you to be with us. God, I pray that you would help us to regularly stop and open our eyes and realize the ways that you're at work around us and the ways that you're work in us, Father. Help us not to miss you in the midst of working for you. We love you, Father. Amen. All right. A couple quick things. There's a lot of stuff going on this summer. Even in the next couple of weeks, there's a lot of great stuff coming up. And I want to encourage you, don't forget about the stuff that's not your program. Okay? And so don't just think about, what's my responsibility? What do I have to do? We're kingdom people all the time, right? And so there's stuff coming up. Ambassadors show up this week. Leaders show up tomorrow. And participants start showing up on Friday. Well, hopefully they all show up. That's where they start and stop showing up. And it's actually the same. They do it 2 weeks in a row. Guys, we pump a lot of investment into like World Race Training Camp. A lot of you guys show up. A lot of you guys worship with us, and you pray over racers, and like that is awesome, and that's so impactful. I want to encourage you, like, do the same for some of these other programs. Yeah. So, Ambassador, it's high school students. Show up this weekend. Show up, pray over people during worship, jump in, get involved. Next week, Sunday night, PSL starts. And that's our PSL for all of our Gappers coming back. It's our first all-Gap PSL, right? And it's going to be awesome. Like, same thing. Show up here. Like, show up for worship. Pray with them. Like, invest in people. It's not just a thing that happens, like, within our schedule and our programs. Like, it should just be what we do. So show up, invest, pray, grab conversations with people. Just jump into what God's doing. Be the people He's called you to be all the time. Have a great week.